ago, we did our project on vector and range of an arrow. Creators: Cody, me, G, Samantha, Brian, and Andrea.
Definitions. Vector is the quantity that involves both magnitude and direction. Theta represents an angle in degrees.
Basic story side. Jack is preparing for an archery tournament by setting his sights, but he needs to know how far he is from his target.
Problem: Jack is in an archery competition that involves aiming at a target. To try and hit the bullseye, he must know the range from himself to the target. It is known that the velocity from Jack to the target is 100 meters per second. Also, the gravity, which is 9.8 meters, is needed to calculate the range. Jack is holding his bow and arrow at the angle of 45 degrees. What is Jack's range and probability of hitting the bullseye?
Here are some definitions before we get into the problem. V equals velocity. Vx equals the horizontal vector, which is the horizontal velocity. Vy equals the vertical vector, which means the vertical velocity. And Rx equals range, and G equals gravity.
Equations needed. The trajectory equations. So Rx equals Vxt, Vx equals V cosine theta, Vy equals V sine theta, and T equals negative Tvy divided by G.
Understand, question, plan, solve, check. Understand. Draw a diagram of Jack's predicament.
So the givens are V equals 100 meters per second, theta equals 45 degrees, gravity is 9.8, and Rx, the range, is our goal.
Question: what are you trying to find?
Plan. Derive an equation from the given information to solve.
Solve. Show equations and calculations. Steps. Check. What is the probability of Jack hitting the bullseye? What is the range? How to solve.
So before we begin, the trajectory equations are Rx equals Vxt, Vx equals V cosine theta, Vy equals V sine theta, T equals negative 2 Vy divided by G. The inputs, the givens, are G equals 9.8, V equals 100 meters per second, theta equals 45 degrees. The steps involved in this equation are number one,
Set up the equation. Rx equals V times cosine of 45 times negative 2 Vy divided by G. Number two, start inputting plugins. Rx equals 100 times cosine of 45 times minus 2 times the 100 times sine of 45 divided by 9.8.